Captain Paul for the Locker Room here. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, and let's get into it. Eck had an interesting take on Connor McDavid's personality off the ice. And this is kind of referenced in an interview that McDavid had with a reporter in between periods. Let me play the interview so we can get a full scope of what was said and why Eck said what he had to say.
I'd like to hit that number.
Yeah, it's great, I guess. It's just a number, though. Obviously, it's a big one, but we got to find a way to come back here.
Nothing nefarious within that interview, just kind of more concerned about the game itself and coming back and being competitive and hopefully beating the Boston Bruins. And due to that nature, he was very dismissive of the milestone. And Eck had this to say: "I'd take cocky if it meant the league's most prominent player gave an interview which wasn't a snooze fest." He went on to say, "Because he's literally the face of the NHL, it would be nice if he said something interesting occasionally." In response, a Twitter user, Bobby Hill, said, "Dude, he scored his 50th goal and has 100 plus points after 6 games played. I think that's interesting enough, no?" Eck responds, "Yep, it is. Just wish he had the personality off the ice." Let's just go into my rationale of this. I see the interview. You're mid-game. You're not going to be boasting and gloating about your 50th goal, finally hitting it for the first time in your career, and the absolutely amazing season you're having. Your team is losing. So in what world would a real hockey fan want their player to be like,
"Yeah, I know my team's losing right now, but man, I'm just so good. I'm just so amazing."
What makes a lot of hockey fans love the sport and the players is the grounded sense of reality they base themselves in. It's really about a team sport. It isn't about glorifying themselves. Compared to other sports like the NFL, the NBA, MLB, it's far less about me. It's about we. And this is just not to completely drag Eck. If you have watched my channel, I've made a video about how amazing of a content creator is, and I think he does a lot for the sport, but I just think this is a really bad take. I want my superstars to care about the team itself over individual performances. Because to be fair to McDavid, this makes him look far better. He is the best player in the world. And all the people against him say, well, the team around him, he's never gonna win. He's never gonna win. He takes that much money. He's just never gonna be that guy. And to a degree, I think taking $12.5 million doesn't help. But you can see in interviews like this, winning is his main priority. That is what he cares about. If anything, if McDavid came off as cocky and only cared about individual records, McDavid would be getting dragged through the mud. Hockey players are a special breed. They're far different than any other athlete. It's one of the most difficult sports to play, and it's also got the most blue-collar feel to it. You legitimately have a sport where you can get into a fist fight and go to the penalty box for 5 minutes and still play in the same game. While yes, McDavid doesn't have the greatest personality, but there are plenty of other players within the league that do have that personality that could help grow the game. Brad Marchand is one that just comes to mind. He's a very colorful character. I mean, to argue, did Wayne Gretzky have an absolutely heater of a personality? No. Did Mark Messier? No. Did Mario Lemieux? No. Usually the greatest players in hockey history, while extremely competitive, weren't great showsmen, and I'm not going to hold that against them. When it comes down to it, it's up to the NHL to properly market their product. It is not on McDavid's personality to carry it alone. And I think there's a possibility you could really have McDavid's personality shine forth, but let's also be fair here. This is an in-between-the-period interview. What do you expect him to say? His team is losing. I don't know, Eck. I love your content, but that's just a head-baffling take to me. I'm Captain Paul. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out the other ones. I'll see you in the next video.
Connor McDavid has hit 50 for the first time in his career.